Hey there, Hopeful Tribe. On this episode of Hopeful Health, Sue and I decided we're going to talk about the different fasts that we've been doing over the past few months.
And Ezzy just wants to lick our faces.
She does.
Okay, so we started out the beginning of the year wanting to get back into keto and a fasting lifestyle. So we started out with keto fast mimicking, which is a variation on Walter Longo's fast mimicking, where you bring your calories down really low, like 1,000 calories the first day, and then 725 the subsequent days. And you, on the keto version, you just eat like nuts and broth, and I think you can have avocado,
Olives,
yeah. It's a very limited set of foods that you can eat. And if you want, you can actually buy the non-keto version called Prolon, but that's like $300, and that's not our favorite price, right?
our favorite price is free.
That's right. So we did it the free way, and I found it was a really good bridge back to fasting, because we could still eat, just not as much. And I found the olives, especially the salty things, the chicken broth, were really comforting when I'd start to get hungry.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So it had been after kind of like a whole stretch of going in and out of keto and not really doing it seriously. And it was a great bridge because, you can eat a little bit during the day. And it was super helpful. I think we started it when we were doing a window, but then also we were starting trying to do like a fast a week, a 24-hour fast each week, but it was just a fast mimic each week. And so I had it down to just, how many olives I could have in a day, how many macadamia nuts I could have in a day. And it was great because you could, eat a little bit. So that was satisfying in that way. I didn't get, as far as results go, it was a great bridge, but I didn't get any results other than, I don't even know at that point whether I was even feeling any better necessarily. I didn't really get very many results, although we hadn't really started to track different things like, are you in ketosis and that sort of thing yet. But I don't remember any specific results. It was just a great bridge back in.
Yeah, I think in early January we didn't have strips for some reason for the glucose meter or the keto meter, so we just weren't measuring. But when we did start measuring, I noticed that just the fast mimicking would bring my blood sugar down and bring my ketones up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I wasn't measuring at that time.
Cool. It was helpful
right
in those ways. And then we did I think this is the most popular intermittent fasting schedule, the 16-8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're eating about 10 to 6, so 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Most days. And I like this a lot as we were getting back into the keto and fasting thing. I found pretty much do everything we usually did, between 10 and 6. I guess you could even put 3 meals in there, but we just had 2. And I found that when we wanted to have social meals, we could still just call friends for brunch or an early dinner if they were into that, and it worked out great.
Yeah, so I didn't actually find this any different than just eating. It just seemed really regular eating. Not very, it didn't feel that structured. It didn't even really feel like an intermittent fast. It just felt like, you eat 2 meals a day, and while you're in that window, you could still have, while you're in your eating window, you could still even have snacks. So I think I didn't really take it that seriously. It didn't feel that structured or stringent or anything. Not that any of this feels that structured or stringent. Some parts of it do, but not that many parts of it. But yeah, it just was like a regular eating day. It didn't feel any different than a regular day if we didn't call it intermittent fasting. Mm-hmm. Just like you eat in the morning and you get hungry around 10. And, I guess the one part that was a little bit different is that strict cutoff. And we would kind of let it sometimes we'd like, oh, let that waver because like, oh, it's 7. We'd go beyond like, oh, it's a little bit of time beyond. So I think that was the problem with it too, since it didn't feel that strict or structured. We felt like, especially at the nighttime window, we could go beyond that a little bit.
And then we went to a 6-hour eating window. We went to a 6-hour eating window, like from about 12 to 6.
Right. Yeah, the previous one was an 8-hour eating window,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So we went to 6 hours.
Yeah, we went to 6 hours. And this also was fine. Actually, what happened was how we went from the 8-hour to the 6-hour is a couple mornings we were really busy, and so we didn't eat till noon, and we noticed that we weren't really hurting.
Mm-hmm.
So why not push a little bit and maybe get a little autophagy in before we started eating, because they say it can start around 17 hours, especially for people who are keto. So
yeah, I didn't notice very much difference between the 6 and the 8 either. And I think also, again, as I said with the 8-hour, sometimes at night we might push the window like a little bit further. So it didn't necessarily feel like it was a structured, but it was starting to get structured.
mm-hmm.
It was starting to get really structured at that point. But still, we pushed it a little bit.
And I don't know if I said this earlier, but I don't think either of us experienced significant weight loss with either of these windows, the 10 to 6 or the 12 to 6. So we were throwing in longer fasts every weekend.
Right. We do a 24-hour fast every weekend.
And we pushed to a 72-hour fast.
Yeah.
To that one time.
Point, yeah.
Yeah. And then I was watching this video by Benazati at Keto Camp, and he was saying that people were able to lose 7 pounds of fat in a week by doing the 8 to 2 eating window, the 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. plus a 24-hour fast in a week. And I thought, let's try it. We're already doing a 6-hour window. Why not just push it earlier? So we did, and the first week I lost 3 pounds, and the second week I lost 2 pounds. So that's how long we've done it so far. It's going really well for me.
Yeah. Actually, this window was tough at first because you're stopping eating it too. And that was like tough because then you like kind of have your evening hours, and even if you're not hungry, you feel like you should be able to eat. And because it's evening, and so at first that was really tough. But as with the other sort of fasts as we've been working through them, kind of figure out like, oh, just have a cup of tea and have different kind of tea and broth games going there in the evening if you're hungry. But actually, I'm finding it not bad now that we're into it a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. It's actually not as hard, that 2 o'clock window, and it sort of frees up our evening. Like last night we had a webinar, and before that we were thinking we couldn't do any evening webinars because present a webinar because there would be too much work and not enough time to make dinner. But now that we stopped eating at 2, that didn't get in the way at all. Yeah, and I'm finding like I'm less kind of, I think I was psychologically hungry at like night, less sort of psychologically wanting food. It's just gotten to be sort of a normal thing. The harder part about it is actually eating it. It's like, since it's an 8 to 2 window, eating at 8. We're just like not kind of hungry at 8.
We're not really naturally hungry at 8 a.m.
Yeah,
but we eat because we know
it's just
if
a
we
6-hour
don't,
window.
then we're only getting one meal.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and then like you can't put a bunch into that one meal. It just would be, you wouldn't enjoy it. So we've been kind of getting up, and even that required some changes to our schedule a little bit because, it interferes with like morning work time because we're, having to stop and create a meal then. But we've pretty much figured it out, and it's working out pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And I've lost a little bit of weight too. My weight loss on this has been, I wasn't really losing any weight on the other ones that we mentioned, the windows, but this one I've lost a couple pounds. I think maybe 2 pounds or something like that since we've been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Also, one thing I noticed was the first week we switched to this 8 to 2 schedule plus a 24-hour fast every week. That my first week, my blood glucose averaged about 130 in the morning, and the second week it was down to 120 in the morning, and that's really good for me, given that a few months ago it was like 253.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's one of the reasons we're saying like this is a good window, because it's really helping with Sue's blood sugar and keeping her in ketosis.
Oh yeah, my ketosis has been on fire too since we switched to the schedule. Way higher ketones. Yeah, and that helps with a lot of things. So
yeah. So we're excited about it for that. But actually with me, I haven't been in ketosis as much. But I'll say with this, as different than the other fast, the fast mimicking and the 8 hour and 6 hour window, the 6 hour window done the other way, the 12 to 6, my body feels much better. Like I have much more energy. Just feeling like I can get around better and just having lots more energy. So something about this window, something about like stopping eating earlier in the day is feels good, feels really good, better than any of the others.
yeah, I mean, I'm not a scientist or anything, but I think from what I've learned over the last few years about eating is that the more rest you can give your body between meals, the better, right? And the more rest, the more empty your stomach is when you go to sleep, the better sleep you get. So it makes sense that stopping it too would be better for your health. It was an adjustment getting us there.
Yeah, but I think we'll probably stick with this one.
And then we did a week of OMAD.
Yeah.
Remember that?
1 meal a day. Yeah.
That was fun. I can't remember losing any weight on that, but I do remember that it got pretty easy, and we even thought about sticking with that.
Right, we actually sure did. Yeah, it was just 1 meal a day. It was almost like, again, I think scheduling it helped, right? We just had like dinner. So there wasn't like stopping in the middle of the day to have a meal or cook a meal, because we eat at home generally. And then so it's a little bit of like taking time, because Sue cooks like restaurant quality gourmet meals for us here at home. So it helped schedule wise, and it seemed pretty easy, and we thought about it, like why not just do 1 meal a day?
Yeah, but then my concern with doing it long term is that it might cause nutrient deficiencies, because you can't really fit all your nutrients into one meal.
Hard to. I guess you could do it if you just were doing supplements, but you certainly can't do it.
Not in real food.
Not in real food, yeah.
So, oh, then we did the zero carb or carnivore fast, where we just stuck with protein and fat.
Protein, yeah, exactly. So we could have anything that didn't have carbs, and so that meant like mostly meat. I think, did we find that nori didn't have any carbs either, or something like that?
I think you discovered that.
Yeah, I discovered that. So
we had some nori with zero carbs.
Yeah. So there were a couple of things that weren't meat, but it was really kind of even just visually difficult. Almost like I needed like, can we have 2 different kinds of meat? Just it's sort of like, it was visually and psychologically like difficult to just like have kind of a one thing meal, and my body didn't really like it at all. I didn't lose any weight,
right?
And my body was just like, what are you doing? It just it was just like ill the whole thing.
I forgot how little that one worked for you.
It didn't work at all. And it wasn't that we were eating like, even though sometimes I said like I would like 2 different, like maybe like shrimp and salmon, or shrimp and like some beef or something, just to have 2 different things. It wasn't like we were overindulging in meat. It wasn't like we were just doing like tons of meat. It just like my body did not like only meat.
We're just having a regular serving of protein and then some fat with it, right? What gave me the idea was I did this beef and butter fast a few years back, and I lost a few pounds doing it. I got bored with the beef and butter though, so I was like, what if we could vary the proteins and the fat so I wouldn't be bored with just the same meat and the same fat every day.
And yeah, I'm a fan of meat too. It's like, I was like, when she told me about that beef and butter fast, I was like, what? Beef and butter? So like we could have like steak every night? Oh my God, that sounds amazing. But no, my body didn't dig it. My body did not dig the just the carnivore diet. It didn't dig it at all.
Yeah. I was fine with it. In fact, I lost 3 pounds in the 3 days, which is the same as I did on a water fast. So it's kind of funny. I don't know that I'll do water fasts very often after I found that out, that I can get the same weight loss results just by eating meat and fat.
Yeah. And also the same weight loss results by the one that we're doing now with the 6-hour window. She's getting the same weight loss results that she got with the 72-hour fast.
Yeah.
So, and better readings with her glucose. So.
Yeah. The one thing that I didn't like about it was I found myself craving vegetables and carbs even while we were doing that, just because I think I'm used to more variety.
Yep, the cravings were crazy during that for me.
Yeah, I didn't like the cravings, but I did like the weight loss results without being hungry at all. Like, I was not hungry when we did that.
No, it's true. Yeah, not at all.
And then we did the 24-hour water fast, which I think is our favorite longer fast, because it's just 24 hours. So in this case, like now, we would stop eating at 2 and then have a meal at 2 o'clock the next day.
Yeah. I found the 24-hour fast like harder when we used to like do it from dinner to dinner. Like when we so you'd eat it, stop eating at 6, and then the next day eat at 6. It felt like sort of longer, even though it wasn't. It was still just 24 hours. But yeah, this 2 to 2, it's like, yeah, it's easy. It's super easy. I guess because too, we're not necessarily hungry for that first meal anyway. And so start to get hungry maybe around 11, but then you're going to have your meal at 2 anyway. And so it's just easy breezy. Just go to it and have it. Yeah, I'm finding that's like an easy one to do now. So we've been doing the 6-hour window for the 8 to 2. We've been doing that for 6 days. And then on the 7th day, we've been doing a 24-hour fast.
Yeah, and that's working for us, so we're just gonna stick with it until it doesn't work for us, and then we'll throw something else in there. It's one of the most annoying things I'm finding on this weight loss journey is that I feel like since we're older, we have to do so many more tricks to get our bodies to respond by losing weight. It's really, it's not nice.
Yeah, but like I say, I'm feeling better. We're really happy. I'm really happy that Sue's numbers are down, and we're able to stay in ketosis longer and all that jazz. So I mean, but the weight isn't really coming off as fast as it did when we were younger. It's true. Yeah. But it's coming off a bit.
It's coming off. I think now I'm at 12 pounds down since the beginning of the year.
Nice.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and actually, what is it? I think am I at 10 pounds
I think you're
down?
at 10 now.
I think I'm at 10 down, so.
Yeah,
not bad.
And then we did that 3-day water fast.
That we documented where we were looking all like haggard and sad.
And for me, the hardest part was the not sleeping. I found out that when I do a longer fast, I have a hard time sleeping. So then the 2nd and 3rd days, I was dealing with hunger and sleep deprivation. So not a good look for me.
But that was actually the one I think that we had the most dramatic weight loss.
You did.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, so I
How much did you lose?
I forget now. Was it 7, 6?
It was
7?
like 7 pounds.
Yeah, so I had the most dramatic weight loss on that. So
I lost 3, and I felt miserable for 2 days of it. So.
Yeah, and I don't think that's so impressive. Like with my weight loss, really, it's like you didn't eat anything and you lost weight. Woohoo! You know what I mean? It seems like, yeah, but Yeah, so I think it is kind of impressive, like being able to lose any weight on something where you're just like, we're just eating, we're eating keto, we're just like not eating the sugar and not eating the carbs, and it's just the same window as we had before, but it's just at a different timing, and losing weight and having such remarkable results, both with feeling better. I'm feeling lots better. I'm losing a little weight. Sue's losing more weight. She's feeling better. Her numbers are better.
Oh, my blood pressure's come down too.
Yeah.
Isn't that odd? Just by having an earlier eating window?
It's weird, but it's really
I don't
cool.
understand, but it works.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ben.
Oh, Ben Azadi. Yeah. And so that's pretty much all the information we have for you, Hopeful Tribe, on our hopeful health journey here. So
if you've tried different fasts, tell us which is your favorite in the comments. We hope you feel loved and hopeful.
bye-bye.
Bye.